So it's officially February 1st, 2026. We made it through January.
We did. But looking back at this stack of posts from Deborah A. from last month, it feels like more than just another month passing.
Oh, absolutely. She's basically chronicling this real-time pivot from business as usual to what she's calling a global village mindset.
It really reads less like a blog and more like a guide for navigating all this chaos.
Exactly. And that's our mission here, really, to just distill these 31 days of insights on leadership, stewardship, this whole story of interbeing into something you can actually use.
Because her whole argument is that our old maps just don't work anymore.
They're broken.
And she's pretty blunt about why they're broken. I'm thinking of that January 12th post.
The confession? Yeah, it's a stark confession. She just admits to using manipulative sales tactics, leaning on those pain and pleasure points to close a deal.
Right, which she calls extraction, trying to get what you can from somebody. The whole shift she's proposing is towards stewardship.
So instead of the hustle, she talks about integrity to divine assignment.
Which sounds a little lofty, I know, but she immediately grounds it.
Right, with the offers and needs market from January 15th. I found that idea just so practical. It completely flips the script on competition.
It does. Instead of fighting for market share, you're just in a space saying, here's what I have to give, and here's what I actually need. It changes everything from a transaction to a relationship.
She even uses that pay what delights you pricing model for her Global Village campus events.
Which is risky, sure, but it ties into her other point about using tools like human design or even ChatGPT, not just for productivity.
But as co-creative partners.
Yeah, to interrupt our own trauma patterns around money and scarcity.
Okay, so that brings us to the heavy philosophical lifting of the month.
It really does. January 29th.
When she brings in Charles Eisenstein's work to contrast the story of separation and the story of interbeing. So for anyone listening who isn't familiar with Eisenstein, what's the simple breakdown?
The easiest way to think of it is the story of separation is a world of walls. You're protecting yourself from others.
So in that model, a boundary is just a wall, an enforced limitation.
Exactly. But in the story of interbeing, the assumption is we're all connected. So boundaries aren't walls at all.
They're your body's censured yes or no that keeps the whole relationship healthy.
That reframes so much, like her take on networking. We're all told your network is your net worth.
Which is total separation thinking, accumulation. Whereas in interbeing, the question becomes, what is yours to steward?
Precisely. It shifts from accumulation to responsibility. And this whole idea gets tested with a national shutdown she wrote about on the 30th.
Right. That was a really interesting post because she gets the anger, she gets the injustice, but she critiques the way some people were resisting.
She warns against resistance that comes from that story of separation, the kind that goes looking for villain.
Villain hunting, yeah.
Because if you just fight hate with more hate, you're just reinforcing the whole problem. She proposes resistance through the spirit of Ubuntu.
I am because we are. So you restrain harm not because you hate the oppressor, but because you love the whole community and want to restore it, not just punish someone.
It's a huge shift, and it ties back to her writing on living in a VUCA world, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous.
It does, because in a VUCA world, trying to fix the whole global mess yourself is a recipe for complete burnout.
And her advice from January 22nd was maybe my biggest takeaway from the whole month. Stop trying to fix it all and simply ask yourself, what is mine to do right now?
That's it. And what is mine to do could be activism, or it could be parenting, or dancing, or just being still.
And that stillness connects right back to the body. She argues we can't be in right relationship with people until we're in right relationship with the land.
Right. Stewardship versus ownership. Viewing sickness not as a disorder, but as your body just signaling that it's not at ease with its environment. So if we pull all this together, stewardship over extraction, interbeing over separation, what are the actual next steps for someone listening who feels called by this?
Well, if it resonates, she suggests looking into the Global Village campus events, like the Reset Room or the Beta Workshop, which for this month is slotted for Tuesday, February 3rd through Thursday, February 5th. Details on her profile, The Real Deborah A.
Okay, so we'll leave you with this final thought to carry into February, which comes from that January 22nd post. When everything feels urgent, if you actually stop trying to fix it all and simply ask yourself, what is mine to do right now? What answer comes up in the silence? Thanks for joining us.